Alrighty, back again. Today is November 17th, 2025. We're going to be looking at the markets today. See what we can see with our eyes. Alright, so we're just going to start with the SPY. Good one to start with. Whoops. So we go over the higher time frames. And of course, as always, the SPY is in an up. Just up, right? Up. Boom. It's just always up, which is good. Good if you're invested in the SPY, right? You always want it to continuously go up over time. It looks like right here in April, as we all know, we had this dip, but then we're having it rebounding back. We had a nice little dip here in October 6th, and then we started going up again, and it looks like we're starting to retrace back downwards. How far, I wouldn't say, but if I was to attempt to get some probability of where it could go, it's in this area, which may be psychological. The day traders are looking at this and they're like, oh, this is probably a zone. It's in here right now, so it could potentially rebound because it's always going to go forward. We're looking for the pullbacks and a reason to get in on those pullbacks to go to higher prices. So why wouldn't this happen here? Well, if we're making a case for why it wouldn't particularly happen here, we go down to some of the lower time frames. We see candles, long move down, boom, or excuse me, large move down, form of the black candle, and we see it starting to come up. And really, I don't see a reason why we would be bearish other than any particular news that's going on right now, which housing starts, building permits, not sure what any of that means. FOMC minutes. So this is something to look out for. What is this coming up on Wednesday? Maybe look at this unemployment rate. That might be something to look at as well. And of course, NFP. So we have a good amount of news coming this week. So we'd want to see what happens on those days. But ultimately, this just looks like it's bullish. And if I was to do some day trading in here today, what would I do? Boom, break above. This, it's close to closing below here. At which point you would probably say, well, if this was breaking below here, the up would be here at the very tip top, right? So we'd want to see it break here before we consider being bullish again. Not considering this intermediate price action here. So if you look at this area here, we're not considering that right now. We're actually just considering the upper bound. So if we look here, if we're saying on that lower time frame that this was some zone that we closed below here on the lower time frame, then, well, if we're saying this is the last down move for the up move, if we broke below there, we want to see a break above here before we're bullish, right? Break above here before we're bullish. So boom, right? If we were thinking it was going to continue bullish, it would have stopped here and we would have continued, right? But we saw this on a lower time frame, broke below. Maybe it comes up to retest this area here, as it seems like it did, and then maybe we go in here to go a little bit lower before coming up. So I mean, very, very short term, I would be looking for it to probably come lower in here. Again, as you go on lower and lower time frames, you start to see the structure inside of the higher time frame structure, meaning that you see price moving in a particular way. So for me, how I like to see this is we saw this last down move here. You see this large candle on the 1 hour. When I say this, if you're not looking at the screen, boom, I'll circle it. Now you should look at the screen. It's a huge neon circle, neon yellow. And then we saw this get broken here, right? Where did that come from? It came from somewhere in here, right? This move up came from somewhere in here, we could argue. Okay, great. Now it's continuing up. And then we see, gaps here. This is market open from Friday to Monday, gap up, and we continue that. So if we're looking at this leg here, boom, all the way up, we want to see a test back and come back in here, test, and then continue. But what we're seeing is kind of some sideways movement here. So personally, I think we have this, and then we come and run both of these and then go up. So if I'm looking at that on the shorter time frame, well, I look at intermediate, boom, breaks. So maybe I'm looking somewhere in here on a shorter time frame, at which point I'll just put a line here and put an alert on the line. And when it comes in here, we can start looking on lower time frames for some particular entry. That's what I would be doing on the SPY. Now, you look at US 30, it's similar, right? Always up. And then you look at the NASDAQ, similar, always up. So I'll probably be looking for something similar on these ones, although I'm definitely not looking to get in any of the indexes right now. Buy and hold. I'm not going to look to trade them this week either. All right, let's go to forex. So we got the euro against the dollar. Dollar make ya holla. All right, boom, up. And this is the daily time frame. Let's go to super higher time frame. Super. Okay, y'all, super. So we've seen it recently break down, which means we're bearish, and this still seems pretty bearish. Let me draw that out for you guys. So we saw this large break here. It broke all of these, right, lows. Boom. So it broke down. We saw it come back up, and we could say it was in this MB here. When I say MB, I mean this entire area from the down move to the up move, right? Before this low is broken here. So boom. And we could say, okay, well, maybe it trades in this area, continues to trade in this area. So we saw it break down here. We saw it come back up. Maybe he's testing somewhere in this MB, maybe not. Maybe there was a trade, maybe there wasn't. We see, where did this come from? This low right here, right? This low here at $0.03355, something like that, right? So then we see that broken again. Okay, well, boom, where'd that come from up here? So we have this MB, all right, broke below this low, and really it broke below this low here. So we got double MB, because this would have still been valid even though this was coming up, and it broke all of this. So then we could just use some zone in here to say, okay, well, maybe price will be in there somewhere. So after we see that broken low, we look into here, we see on the monthly time frame, mind you, last up move for the down move in here somewhere, right? But we see it tapped. So we just go ahead and refine it over here and say, okay, maybe this actually holds. And then we continue down. And this is on the monthly, so then we can just continuously zoom in, right? It's been coming up, break up, boom. And it looks like, if we're going by how we like Wyckoff, right? Boom, boom. And then we want to see this ran too, so then that looks like it's good to run into there. So we'll just put an alert and we'll wait for a longer term. Because if we wait for the longer term, then we have a higher probability, potentially, right? And maybe it comes all the way down here. And all the way down here, meaning it runs the previous lows before it does some capitulation at this ultimate low here, before it maybe runs up. But we'll have to see. All right, let's look at gold. I mean, gold has been running like crazy. Just up, 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 up. Printing, as they say, colloquially. I'm gonna just leave this alert here. I mean, ultimately, you do something like this, right? And then maybe it comes back down into here and you're looking for a trade, but this is really running really heavily. Yeah. This one is just kind of be wait and see. If you're not in this already, this is probably just wait and see until it builds some market structure Going forward, maybe it comes down, down. Maybe it doesn't even come into here, but it breaks above some intermediate structure. So what I'm talking about is maybe it comes down here, down here, down here, boom. And then maybe it does something like that. I don't know. We just want to see it build some structure into here, just so we have more confirmation that it wants to continue up, which historically, as we can look at, gold historically goes up. So that's where you probably want to be trading. Bitcoin right now just had a pretty big pullback over like the last few weeks. All right. I think maybe this might be dead, but it says encoding overloaded. All right, breakdown. Yeah, this is chill. I mean, I'm not really going to trade this, but from what I can see right here, right, we have this huge zone. Maybe we come somewhere down into here. And down into here is around 82,000. What is this lowest? Maybe 74. Maybe we run this and then continue up. But in that area, that last down move, for the up move. So yeah, maybe between 74,000 and 84,000. Somewhere maybe at 85,000, closer at the top range. Maybe we look somewhere in there when price gets there. It looks like it's coming down here, so we'll put an alert for that. And that's pretty much it. This is the outlook for 11/17, and that's what we're gonna call it. Peace.